Hey there, my friend. Have you ever sat back and wondered if all the hustle of keeping up with friends is really worth it after 70? Maybe you felt a little tug of guilt when you'd rather sip your coffee alone than rush out to a lunch date. Or maybe you've noticed how peaceful it feels when it's just you and your thoughts. Here's a little secret nobody likes to admit. You don't need a big circle of friends to be happy after 70. In fact, embracing your own company might just be the key to living your best, most joyful life yet. And I'm not saying ditch everyone, just that independence can feel pretty darn good. I've been mulling this over because, let's face it, after 70, we've earned the right to live on our terms. We've spent decades juggling relationships, raising families, and being there for others. Now's the time to ask, what makes me happy? I've talked to folks who found real freedom in stepping back from the social whirlwind, and I've felt it myself too. We're going to explore some down-to-earth reasons why going solo can lift you up, with stories and ideas you can try right now. This isn't about being lonely. It's about being free. And I've got 6 big reasons to share that'll have you nodding along. Let's start with a couple that hit home for me. First off, when you lean into independence, you get to call the shots. All of them. I used to bend over backwards to fit everyone else's plans. Dinner at 6 when I'd rather eat at 5, or a movie I didn't care for just to keep the peace. After 70, though, I realize I don't have to anymore. You can set your day exactly how you like it. Sleep in if you want, skip the chit-chat when you're not feeling it, or spend an afternoon with a book instead of a crowd. It's your time, and there's power in that. Nobody's tugging you this way or that. You're the boss of your own happiness. My neighbor Ed, who's 74, stumbled into this by accident. He'd always tag along with his buddies to the golf course, even though he'd rather be fishing. One day he said, "Nope, I'm staying home," and spent the morning by the lake, rod in hand. It was the best day I'd had in years, he told me, grinning ear to ear. You don't need permission. Today, pick one thing you've been doing for others and swap it for what you love. Maybe it's skipping the phone call to tend your garden instead. You'll feel that freedom settle in, and it's a beautiful thing. Another reason independence shines after 70 is you stop worrying about what everyone thinks. I used to fuss over keeping up appearances. Did I say the right thing at the party? Am I still fun enough? But stepping back from the friend frenzy lets you drop that weight. You don't have to impress anyone or keep pace with the gossip. You can just be you, quirks and all. After 70, we've lived enough to know who we are, and there's no need to prove it to a soul. That's not isolation, that's peace. Take my friend Ruth, for example. She's 71 and used to stress about hosting perfect get-togethers. Every napkin folded just so. Then she stopped inviting the crowd and started enjoying her own company, painting little watercolors in her kitchen. I don't miss the pressure, she said, showing me a canvas with a crooked sun she loved anyway. It's so liberating. Next time you catch yourself worrying about someone's opinion, shrug it off. Wear that old hat you like, hum off key, and let yourself be. You'll feel lighter than you have in years. There's more to this independence thing that's too good to keep quiet, and I'm excited to keep sharing it with you. We're just getting started on why going your own way can make these years the happiest yet. All right, my friend, let's keep this independence party going. You've already got a taste from part 1, taking charge of your time and letting go of what others think. Now we're diving into a few more reasons why you don't need a big friend circle after 70 to live happier. And trust me, these are game changers. This is like sitting down with a good cup of tea, chatting about the freedom we've earned. And I'm sharing straight from the heart because I know you'll feel it too. So let's jump back in and explore some more. One big perk of embracing your own company after 70 is how much quieter life gets. And I mean that in the best way. I used to fill my days with chatter, phone calls, coffee, dates, keeping up with everyone's news. It was exhausting, even when it was fun. But stepping back, I found this calm I didn't know I'd been missing. After 70, you don't need the constant buzz of friends to feel alive. Silence can be your new best pal, giving you space to think, rest, or just enjoy the sound of your own breathing. It's not lonely. It's like a gift you give yourself. My buddy Sam, who's 73, discovered this by chance. He'd always been the guy everyone called for a laugh or a favor, but he started saying no more often, spending mornings on his porch with just the birds for company. I didn't realize how loud my life was, he told me, looking more relaxed than I'd ever seen him. You can try it today. Skip the usual catch-up and sit still for a bit. Listen to the wind, watch the clouds, or putter around in peace. That quiet will wrap around you like a warm blanket, and you'll wonder why you waited so long. Now here's another reason independence rocks. You get to chase what you love, no compromises. I used to tweak my hobbies to fit the group, playing cards when I'd rather read, or tagging along to a movie I didn't care for. After 70, though, you can ditch the people-pleasing and dive into what lights you up, whether it's gardening, knitting, or finally learning that guitar riff you've hummed for years. Friends can be great, but they don't need to dictate your fun. You're free to follow your own beat, and it feels amazing. Take my cousin Marie. She's 72 and used to go to bingo with her crew, even though she'd rather be baking. One day she skipped it, stayed home, and whipped up a batch of scones instead. I ate 3 and didn't share a crumb, she laughed, flour still on her cheek. It's so simple. Today, pick something you've always wanted to try, just for you. Dust off that paint set, flip through a cookbook, or watch that show nobody else gets. You'll feel that joy bubble up, and it's all yours. And here's one more gem. Going solo saves you energy you didn't know you were spending. I used to tire myself out keeping friendships afloat, remembering birthdays, smoothing over spats, or just showing up when I'd rather nap. After 70, you've got every right to save that energy for yourself, to rest when you need it or pour it into things that matter to you. It's not selfish, it's smart, and it keeps you feeling strong instead of stretched thin. My friend Doris, who's 76, felt this shift big time. She'd drag herself to every gathering, even when her knees ached, until she started saying, "Not today." She'd nap or tend her flowers instead, and she told me, "I've got more pep now than I did at 65. You don't have to explain it. Next time you're worn out, skip the plans and recharge. Curl up with a blanket, sip something warm, and let your energy build back up. You'll be amazed how good it feels to put yourself first. We're rolling right along with this independence vibe, aren't we? There's more to unpack about why flying solo can make your 70s and beyond the happiest yet, and I'm loving sharing it with you. All right, my friend, we're bringing this home together, and I'm so glad you're still with me. We've already uncovered some powerful reasons to embrace independence after 70. Taking control of your time, dropping others' expectations, enjoying the quiet, chasing your passions, and saving your energy. Now let's wrap it up with the final pieces that'll have you feeling happier and freer than ever. This is like a cozy chat over pie, sharing the best of what I've learned, and I'm talking straight to you because you've earned this. Let's dive in and finish with a bang. One reason nobody needs a big friend circle after 70 is you can finally trust yourself completely. I used to lean on friends for advice. Big stuff like moving, little stuff like what to wear, second-guessing my own gut. But after 70, you've lived enough to know what's right for you, and going solo lets you tap into that wisdom without the noise. You don't need a committee to decide your next step. You've got a lifetime of know-how, and it's more than enough. It's not about cutting people off. It's about betting on yourself, and that feels like a superpower. My pal George, who's 75, figured this out after years of group decisions. He'd ask everyone about everything. Should he sell his car? Take that trip? One day he stopped polling the crowd and booked a weekend at the coast just because he felt like it. "Best choice I ever made," he said, still glowing from the sea air. You can start today. Next time you're waffling, trust your hunch. Pick that paint color you love, skip the outing if it doesn't feel right. You'll feel solid and sure, and it's all you. Now here's another beauty of independence. You get to rewrite your own story. I used to let friendships shape how I saw myself. The funny one, the helper, whatever role I'd fallen into. But after 70, going your own way means you're not stuck in someone else's script. You can be whoever you want, quiet one day, adventurous the next, without explaining it to a soul. It's like shedding an old coat and picking one that fits just right, and it makes every day feel fresh. Take my neighbor Alice, for example. She's 71 and used to be the party planner for her group, always on, always organizing. When she stepped back, She started writing little poems, something she'd never shared before. I didn't know I could be this person, she told me, her eyes sparkling. It's so freeing. Today, try something that's just you. Scribble a thought, dance alone in the kitchen, redefine who you are. You're not locked in, and that's pure joy. And here's the final kicker. Independence lets you love life on your terms, no apologies. I used to feel I had to keep friends close to prove I wasn't fading away. Socializing was the badge of a good life. But after 70, I've learned happiness doesn't need a witness. You can savor a sunset, a good meal, or a lazy afternoon all by yourself, and it's just as rich, maybe richer. You don't need a crowd to cheer you on. You're enough, and that's the sweetest freedom of all. My friend Helen, who's 78, lived this out beautifully. She'd drag herself to every event, thinking solitude was sad, until she spent a day planting tulips alone. I didn't miss a thing, she said, dirt under her nails and a grin on her face. You don't need a plan. Tonight, enjoy something solo. Watch the stars, sip tea, or flip through old photos. That happiness is yours, and it's perfect as is. So there you go, my friend. You've got the full picture now. Running your own show, ignoring the chatter, finding peace and quiet, chasing what you love, saving your strength, trusting yourself, rewriting your story, and living happy on your terms. This isn't about shutting the world out. It's about opening up to yourself, making these years glow with your own light. I'd love to hear how this hits you. Drop a comment with your own take, or just say hi so I know you're out there. If this feels right, tap that like button and subscribe. I'm here to keep cheering you on. You don't need anyone to make you happy. You've got everything right here, and it's time to enjoy it. Here's to thriving after 70. Just you and your amazing self.